Actually, today I got to meet my friend Lance. Yes, I got to meet my friend Lance. This is my first time meeting him in person, and he's a very kind man, seriously. I do talk with him on phone, on WhatsApp, but I've never got to meet him. But today, he's just extraordinary. He's very, anything you want to know about life, anything you want to know about just human, anything you want to know about life, please. YouTube, Telegram, Instagram, Twitter, all the social media channels, you got to find him there. He's very inspiring. He's very positive. If you want anything positive about life, please subscribe to Lancescurv. And then every day you got to see different videos, different talks, different topics about life. See you.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lancescurv. Just woke up. I just woke up. But this is the top of my day. And I want to wish everybody a good rising. Good rising. I know it's early over there on the East Coast, and especially over on the West Coast. It's really early. I know. But I said I want to move my hours back and just keep it consistent this way. And with the amount of solitude and peace that I have that I'm enjoying, I never want to have stopped. I get into deep thoughts more so than ever before. And I start to think about many of the people I've known, many of the people that I love, many of the people that have passed through my life. And I really think about their personalities, who they were/are. And why I say are is because I never look at people who have transitioned in the past tense. Maybe their identity on this earth as they pass through, that could be something in the past tense, but I like to look deeper. And the more I advance in my chronological age, I'm kind of getting on to some things. I'm kind of seeing things not different, but a little more advanced for me. I'm not saying I'm advanced over anybody, because in this world, we're all feeling around for the light switch in the dark. We all have questions that we want to have answered. And lots of times, it's just that we're so caught up in survival that we can't go after having those questions answered deep down that we have. Many of us, I would say, are too afraid to really ask and go after having those questions about our existence answered. I feel that many of us, not all of us, I can't even tell you a percentage, but many of us settle for the ready-made templates and categories that are here awaiting us on this plane. We've been having a lot of conversations recently on this platform that basically we've agreed somewhat that this life that we know now is a simulation. It's like a ride in the amusement park. And I wonder, are there any other simulations? Did we come from one before this particular life? Are we going into another one after this life? Are there lessons in that next level and then the next level beyond that we have yet to learn, but we can't learn those until we master these? Those are some maybe abstract, surreal questions, but that's where my mind is right now. I've always been one to think out the box. I've always been one that people will say, listen, Lance, we love you, but you're a little strange, you're a little odd, you're a little eccentric. And I embrace that because it's me being eccentric and odd thinking in a surreal, abstract way that has kept my blades sharp as I cut through the challenges of life. I never really subscribed to these categories that are ready-made for us to jump into. I've been in them. I've tried them out for size. But I realize that many of them are soul traps. Yeah, I feel that way. The nationalism, the religion, the politics, the differences in our makeup. And we get caught up in those things and we rah, rah, rah. And I realize that many of us who may claim a certain category to fight for may not even be interested in the advancement of that category. This is going to be a very broad-minded conversation. I'm not trying to be the guru and answer anybody's questions. I just want you to think. Let's take those of us in the Black African community, because that's what the world identifies me as, and that's who I am. That's the clothes that I wear on this level. That's what the world says I am. If I was to rob a bank, they're not going to say I'm a 5'2" white man, 300 pounds. No, I have no problem with that. I've embraced that. I love the advantages that that category gives me. But I have to think beyond this because we're not always going to be here. Do I think that I'm leaving anytime soon? Well, I hope not. I'm enjoying this aspect, this point of life that I'm in. My frustrations are few. All I ask is for peace, privacy. I'm big on privacy. I do not like distractions around me to keep me from having my creative flow. And we know we have entities in this world that whatever brings you joy, they're there to destroy it. Let me speak about that a little bit. And this is what sets up this plane of existence to me to be a big game in this simulation. The minute you make up your mind what it is that brings you joy on this level, a signal goes up, and many are recruited to make sure that doesn't happen. Why is that? But when there's a positive energy in the universe, there's also something negative. There's always something to counterbalance what it is that you seek to do. And you have to be strong in your conviction to commit to yourself to make sure that no matter what, you're going to experience this joy. Because if you're a milquetoast, watered down, turn the other cheek type person, you're going to get run over. You're going to get used and abused and your spirit broken. You have to be determined to go on your path with a clear mind, without any distractions, and you must destroy any of these entities that are there to take you off your path. You were given this life. We say creator. Have you seen him or her or it or the energy? No. But we know that this could not have been created just by something falling out of the sky. The Big Bang Theory. No. Because if I told you the clothes that you have on just fell out from somewhere, or the utensils that you use to eat, or the bed you sleep on, or the key that you push into your lock when you go into your dwelling, just happened to fall out of the sky. You found it somewhere under a rock. No, you think I'm crazy. So look at the creations that you honor so much. Those things that are man-made that we can say, wow, man did a good job creating this. He thought it up, went after it, maybe failed a few times, and created this thing. But we look at man's creations and we marvel at them. But this creator that we are feeling around to see who it is, we don't acknowledge that entity at all. Like I say yesterday, and I think the show before, that when you go to sleep, there's not a button that you push to ensure that your heart's going to beat for the next 8 hours, 7.5, whatever it is that you sleep, time-wise. There's no gauge, there's no button that you say, hey, let me make sure I'm breathing all night. It's a mechanism that works automatically. And it's marvelous. But we don't think about that because we take those things for granted. But if this is a simulation and we're put into our lives as we are, because we were created in the way we are, why is it that we can't accept who we are as humans who are going through a journey, going through a simulation, going through a school, because we're here to learn. But while we learn, there's a responsibility to not fall victim to letting our identity get to our head. It's a big world out here. Indigo King, how are you, my brother? You know, I knew you'd be the first one. Even before I saw you here, I'm zoned out. I just knew you'd be here, brother. Felt you. But when I woke up this morning and I was laying there, because I never jump up right away, I wait until I'm fully awake, unless I have to answer a call to nature or answer to some appointment or whatever. I lay there. I've been known to lay there for 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. If I have the time, I'm not going to engage my mind if my spirit's not ready. I'm not going to engage my body if my mind's not ready. Everything has to be warmed up. Those of us who live in the northern areas of the world where it's cold and you have ice, you don't just jump in your car, start it up and just drive off. You let things warm up. And the older the vehicle that still runs efficiently, you know you have to maybe take a little time to warm it up even more. I'm not 10 years old anymore. I can still hang with the best. But in my own self-care, I make sure to take my time to get my thoughts together, to download my mission statement, to know what it is that I must do for that day. And I know that this is some type of simulation, but then isn't school a simulation that we subject ourselves to for so many hours in a day so that we can learn, make ourselves better? Well, this is a very much natural way of doing so, but many of us don't realize it. You don't go to school and try to hog up all the books. You don't go to school and try to keep other students from coming in the classroom. You're there to work along with them and have your own experience so that you walk away better a degree than you were the day before. Why don't we understand that? But something has infested this simulation of life. And I think we get too anchored in our earthly identity by design. That's the setup. That we can't pull back from our little worlds to see the overall picture and how it's affecting us. And we walk through life with blinders because we can't see the bigger picture. I'm looking out the window right now, and I see the greenery around me. Somewhere on the ground, under all of those bushes, there's a colony of ants. My mind can go beyond my life and think that they're there working hard, doing what they do to survive, working along in unison. There's also worms There's also snakes. There's an ecosystem out there. And there's sometimes the lower man, and it's not a man, but the lower entities on the totem pole, that you have predators and you have victims. The victims to a certain predator is a predator to another victim below it on the food chain. That's nature. That's the world that the Creator made. So there's nothing wrong with that. But us, as so-called the highest beings on the planet, we're worse off than any little bug, nondescript, in the fields. We're vibrating much lower than we're supposed to be vibrating. And I think this is by design. The simulation is cool. The school is cool. But there's a troublemaker amongst us that causes us to be too anchored in our earthly identity so that we're looking sideways now instead of sitting down in the classroom and learning from our experiences and everything that we've had to deal with. All of a sudden now, we're forgetting about the teacher, we're forgetting about the lesson, and we're distracted, and we're fighting, and we're killing, and we're jealous of each other, and we're gossiping about each other, and we're slandering each other. You're missing a lesson. And when the time comes for us to transition, and most likely take that test to see if we learned anything, many of us are going to fail. Ascension is essential. And if you don't seek to learn the lessons now, you're going to wake up and find yourself in a sorry state of affairs one day. I'm not saying heaven or hell. I'm not saying anything that has been used in religions to put fear into us, but just practical. Just practical. You water the plant, water the soil. The plant pulls the water up through the roots, nourishes it, transports nutrients. The sun shines down on the plant, the leaves catch it, and it's harmony. But us being the highest, supposedly, entities, creatures, beings that are supposed to be vibrating high, we're failing at best, majority of us. This is why, for me, as people exit my life, I feel more wiggle room, and I'm into that now. Just allow me to have my peace if you're not bringing anything good into my life. Just allow me to have my tranquility and allow me to enjoy that mentality in my life. But again, like I said, there are entities commissioned in this world that they're there just to disrupt. They're there just to bring chaos. They're very deceptive. And they amp us up. We look on the news at night and we see what's going on in the world. These things have been going on in the world pretty much before we were born. Does that make it right? No. But a lot of us, once we feel the aggressions of whatever the other side is, we take up the mantle and now we're going to go after the other side. There's things in this world that we have to fight, that we have to get into to secure the future of our offspring, to secure their future. And we don't always do right. And sometimes we overdo it. And sometimes we do it for ego reasons. We're trapped in this web of all these different feelings, all these different mentalities, all because we see ourselves a certain way. And it's way off from what really is. I have to ask myself these questions too. Who am I? Why am I here? What is it that I'm supposed to learn on this level that I'm going to bring to the next level? What is of value on the next level that's here? See, we can value things here on this level, and it means nothing on the next level. Have you ever gotten on a flight? Or before you get on the flight, you're checking in, and you have your bags. And you put the bag, your luggage bag, on the scale. And they say, oh, you're 8 pounds over. Too much. Sometimes you can pay for the difference. Other countries, you're not getting on that plane at all until you make things right. So we're all taking a flight one day out of here, and we're going to have our luggage. And you're going to quickly learn that there's many things that we hold on to and that we carry that we're not going to be able to carry to the next level. And if you've ever been in that airport that won't let you pay for the difference, and you've got to leave something behind, a couple of articles of clothing, something, you begin to see that thing as a hindrance. You begin to look at it and say, I'm getting on this flight. I got to decide whether I send this shirt back. Hopefully you have somebody there with you who brought you to the airport, family, a friend, an acquaintance, whoever. You say, listen, I can't take this shirt. If you're a woman, dress. Well, it's a 2023. It might be a man with a dress, right? We don't know. But whatever it is that you take out, you had to make a quick decision as to what was more valuable to you at that time and what was less valuable to you at that time. Okay, I'm not going to wear this as much. This is the thing I really want to keep, but that there, no, I don't think so. Let me see. You got to do this quick because there are people behind you, and you should have been prepared for that moment when you're about to take flight. But many of us are not prepared. Many of us are not ready. Many of us thought we'd never be at the point where we're going to take flight. We just thought we can go on with the same old games, tuck our head down in the pillow, ignore the reality of what we're learning to be the reality. Put your head in the sand, it'll go away. You can't get away from yourself. Like Teddy Pendergrass said in the song back in the 70s, late 70s, you can't hide from yourself. How are you going to hide from yourself? We can lie to ourselves because of our earthly identity and what we call ourselves, what earthly status we have that we think affords us more privilege. All of these imaginary things that when we get to the check-in line, that ultimate check-in line, we're going to realize that a lot of these things that we've accrued in our path through this world doesn't matter. So, why should we pick these things up anyway? Why are we holding on to these things anyway? Do we have to be who we think we are or should be because we came into this thing? What made you a Christian when you first came into this world? What made you a Muslim? What made you a Jew? What made you this or that? The categories. Okay, I was born in America. My father was born in a different country. Does it make any difference? I am who I am if I was born in Russia. If I was born in Russia, I would adopt the form of what's there in Russia. If I was born in Japan, that place would influence me. I would identify as one who, I'm not saying I would shun my race, but if I was born there, I'm a black man in Japan, an African in Japan, right? But my mind would be flavored from young with the things that permeated the minds of the majority of those who identify as Japanese. They quickly let me know that I'm not that. They don't want anybody to encroach on what they think is theirs. I'm not mad at them. It's the same way I feel when you see a white boy rapping about what he's gone through in America, when pretty much that was born out of our pain to express ourselves. Now you hijack it and you want to sit side by side by me, and the world marvels at you and you get more money, paid more, and those who originated it get pushed to the side. That's not right. But that's how the world works. But I think so many times when we look at ourselves in the mirror and we really look at ourselves physically, we don't look beyond the physical, right? We only focus on where look, when you were a little baby, how did you identify? When you were a teenager, young teenager, first going through adolescence, we had our hang-ups. We had little insecurities. We may still have some of those things in a sprinkling way now, but we're adults. And we've learned to put those things in its place, hopefully. How many of us are ruled by those things? You know, you have the young lady who may feel a little insecure about her body weight when she's 13. We understand. So she'll wear more darker clothes to hide the form. We'll see the other young lady who realized that wintertime was very generous to her in the cup size. And she's so excited to show off the new puppies. And many times so excited that she's getting this attention now. And she thinks that's the most important thing in the world to her. So many of us, we're vibrating so low. We're not where we should be. And it's not for me to say. I can't judge, but I can assess by what I see. If you have the tape measure, it's not judging anymore. Oh, approximately tell me how many feet it is from where we stand now, where your foot is, into the wall. Well, I think approximately you judge. But it ain't judging when you have the daggone tape measure. And you pull out the tape measure, you say, well, it's 12.5 feet from where we stand. You know it. Nobody can tell you, oh, you judging. No. When you're trying to get home fast or trying to get to work on time, you know, we kind of put our foot on the pedal and we speed a little bit, right? And we don't think anybody's around until we see those flashing lights behind us. And we kind of swear that maybe we're lying to ourselves that we didn't break the speed limit just a little bit over. It couldn't be that bad. Sometimes you had a police officer that will tell you he has a radar gun. And he tells you exactly how much you were over. The speed limit was 40 miles an hour and you were doing 52. Some police officers, man, they may let you go. Other ones, if you're 4 miles over the speed limit, they're going to hold you down to the letter of the law. They're going to see that you're heading to work. There's no way of knowing, but you're dressed in that hospital gear or that fast food restaurant that can only be in that direction. So you're not going home. So we're going to be a prick. And we're going to take our time. We already ran your plates. We already wrote the ticket, but we're going to sit there for 10 more minutes while the lights flash to make you late. Like I said, there are all types of entities around us. And there's two main goals here for me, at least now. It's to maintain my peace. It's very important for me to be away from the chaos and my privacy. And I'm very open about my life, but there's certain things that are just not going to be there. It's not. No more. Imagine it. Try to figure it out. I'll put out misinformation just to throw the trolls and the entities, and that's part of the game of being on social media, and I'm built for this, so it's no problem. Physically, I'm far away. I can get off this thing and never be seen again. But I'm not going to do that. But you got to deal with these entities who are hell-bent and commissioned by the negative energies, those who have invaded the system of all things natural that your Creator gave you for a fruitful, enjoyable life. They're there to bring the chaos and corruption and disruption in your life. It's not like they're gonna walk up to you with a shovel and take a home run swing and try to knock your head off. Some will. They'll get frustrated enough where they can't touch you that they might try that. But that's far and few between. They'll permeate your reality with a twisted word about your existence, like playing telephone. They'll get a bit of information and run with it. And this is the life of these entities that have invaded and infested this system like a computer virus. And then you now, as the computer, you're not a computer, but then again, you are somewhat, because we gather information, we retain things, and the computers really are a copy of our brain. But then when we are infected with it, this virus, that bit of gossip you heard somebody said something about you, or somebody fed something negative into you and your filters weren't strong enough, you didn't have filters even in place to deal with that. 360 degrees around, the virus can attack you at any time. Sometimes it's not one word or one thing you see, but it's two things combined. A person might drop a word in your mind one day, maybe send you an email about something that you don't feel too good about, and now you're on a downward spiral when every day we should be ascending and seeking to make things right where we're in balance. Like I said, for me, it's peace and privacy and balance and being able to pursue manifesting the downloads that I get in this extreme peace of a place that I'm in. And I always wanted this internally. I always wanted this from the inside. When I would head over to work and know that there's something else I need to be doing. I need to get out of this thing where I need all of this money and become or be the middleman for the artificial system to trade off life force for dead money while time is going on. Although artificial on the other levels, we use it as a marker to align ourselves. I can accept that. But for me right now, there ain't no time. It's just sun. I look up in the sky, okay, the sun just came up, it's early. Everything is relative for me. The sun is straight up over me, okay, we know that's around noontime, might be 12:30, might be 11:45, whatever, but approximately. I've never seen no deer in nature with a watch on its paw. I've never seen a crocodile. I don't want to see a crocodile, but I never see a crocodile with a timepiece. Hey, it's time to go and we need to look for some food. They follow their instincts. Does a crocodile even know that he's a crocodile? He sees something to eat, he wants to go get it, he gets it, but he ain't mad at the person for who they are. Once he's full and has his peace and privacy to do what he wants to do, laying out in the sun, he's good. You could be something that he eats all the time when he's hungry, but if he's full, he ain't gonna bite you. I better get it now so we can store it up. Where the crocodile gonna store up food? They ain't got no refrigerators. But we have refrigerators, and we become predatory over each other. So we hoard. We hoard material items. We become attention whores. We want to make all the money. The money's dead. You're ejaculating your life force on this thing called job that they convince you that you need. When I've taken that drive out here and seen 2.5 miles on either side of the road of mango trees as far as you can see. But this was way out. Nobody figured out, well, I need to get the mangoes. You just stop by the side of the road and fill your stomach. You stop by the side of the road if you have to do a number one, number two. Well, you're feeding into the growth of those mangoes because the nitrogen in your feces is part of the system, as disgusting as it seems. You urinate, and the nitrogen that's in your urine helps to feed those plants. You think the dogs that are wild, the cats that are wild, the animals that are wild have toilets out there? They run to the tree instinctively. Sometimes in the city, make a mistake and piss on the daggone fire hydrant, but they see things and it's in their instinct to follow along with what's nature. But they're not arguing about who they are. They're not taking up the mantle to fight other people. Look, all over the planet, people want better housing. People want good education for their children. People want to live in peace, but the virus tells them different. And it uses who you are against you. I mean, if that's the case, and we just want to be what we identify as, then don't eat the food of other cultures. Don't travel to other countries. Stay in your box. And if you stay in your box, be happy with it. I'm okay with that. But I know every now and then, I like to get a slice of pizza. Every now and then, you want to get a chicken burger. Every now and then, you want some Chinese food. At least try to get the real Chinese food, not that junk they sell in the hood. I'm just using those as broad examples. Because the older we get, and we stay in that box of what the world told us who we are, and you're nothing more than that, I can travel to any part of this planet, and it's mine. And I know that we are the original. We're the caretakers of this earth. So us, more than anybody else, we should understand how blessed we are because of the positioning that we have. But yet, we seek validation from everybody else. We want to be approved by everybody else. And everybody else ain't trying to get no approval from you. They do what they do. The Japanese do what they do. They don't give a damn about you. The Chinese do what they do. They don't give a damn about you. They are who they are, but they don't have that cosmic insecurity that we have to look sideways. Am I doing it all right? Am I doing it good? Is this good enough? Well, if you know you're the sugar honey iced tea, why are you asking this? Why? Are we too anchored in what they told us who we are? Hell, you know, we slaves. Who said that? Oh, you know, we kind of lazy. Who said that? Who convinced you that? All these things that are put on us as a people, and we embrace it. They never told us the things that we see now on the internet about our lineage, and a lot of things you have to check up because there are people out here who just want to talk to seem a certain way. Don't have a lick of sense. They've only verbally plagiarized something that they have seen or heard somebody say. I didn't have a script when I woke up a little while ago. The title came to me, and I said, I'm going to talk about it like I do several times a day. Today, there might be 3 shows and 2 pre-recorded shows. It's going to be all night long, all day long, all night. I ain't got nothing else to do. Oh, yes, I do. Enjoy my peace and my privacy so I can have my downloads, so I can do what it is that I have to do in the school of life to share what I know. I didn't make the information. I'm just that student who's a classmate of yours who says, hey, this is what I got. Check it out. It might be good for the test. I'm not trying to get up on the pulpit and act like I'm the professor. This world is too vast for that. I'm not looking to profit off of anybody. We need money while we're in this system, but I'm not going to break my back for it and waste my time and blow a day. Well, maybe I can do it in 5 days from now. No, I got to be able to do what I got to do every day. I got to be able to live my purpose. If you're not doing that, then something's wrong. You should be looking to escape the thing that stops you from living your purpose. I am completely happy with this thing right now. For years, I've done this. Working 2 jobs, driving 11 hours on the bus and having a little gig afterward, come home tired 3 in the morning and do a 2-hour live show. But that wasn't my forte anyway. I'm an artist. I have another table sitting over there with drawing pads. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to take months. I'm not rushing nothing. When I bust out with something, it's going to be dope. Huh? Because it's coming from the soul, and there's nothing to take away my peace of mind and my privacy to do what it is that I have to do. You're not going to provoke me because I'm too anchored in this earthly identity to rah, rah, rah with the fraudulent people out there who ain't really rah-rahing. They ain't really doing it. They're just working off their frustrations. Look at many of our leaders. Throw them a little money, they compromise. The biggest and most brilliant people in our communities, most of the time, have been compromised. They'll talk the talk, but they're only going to go but so far. They're not really about it. They'll posture. They'll talk good words. But when it comes time to doing the damn thing, they ain't going to do it. And we get fooled every time. When one gets exposed, here comes another one from those entities like the computer virus that has infected our subconscious mind. Like I said, when I was in elementary school, it was quite painful. Not really, but when the other students would laugh, when we got to the part in history when slavery came about, because nothing was told about us before that. So we were set up, right? That happened, yes, but it wouldn't have stung as much while the white students laughed and brought it all out to the lunchroom and brought it all out to the schoolyard and the gym, right? Their little snickers. They're slaves. We weren't slaves. I could name names of the people who said these things, those things stung. Because see, my parents taught me better. I knew more than what the school taught. That's why I always walked a little different, because I knew. I didn't fall victim to the pre-programming of our subconscious minds to be subservient, right? I know my identity, more so on a spiritual level. I know my body and the melanin I have and the magic of all of that. I know that. But are we that when we leave out of here? Why do we focus on that more as opposed to focusing on the spiritual self? The thing that we can get by with when it comes time to take that flight up out of here. Why don't we focus on getting rid of the things that we can't take with us when we get to that divine airport, right? So we focus on all of this foolishness that 100 years from now, and maybe even earlier, it won't even matter. We bought the brand new car. So now we feel good about ourselves because, you know, from early on, we were taught that we were lazy and we were slaves. And so they put up on the billboards the pretty car. And there's a man, they put a gorgeous, sexy woman next to it. So that tells me to have better esteem, I better get that car. So I'm on the job and I'm telling the boss, supervisor, hey man, I need more overtime because I got to get that car. So you're trading off your life while you don't even know who you are to get something that won't matter when you up out of here. That might be the very thing that helps you to get up out of here when you're speeding down the road with that chick in the front seat and her legs look pretty and your hands are on it. She puts your hands somewhere else and you, woo, we got to get to where we're going faster because I got to taste that thing. Bang, somebody runs the light and you're out and you wasted all your time for the carnal pursuits that don't even matter. Car smashed up. Taken to the yard. Somebody's lusting after your rims. Ain't nothing wrong with the rims. Oh, I can get them rims, man. That man has some good rims on his car. You dead and gone. And these maggots want what you have. It's not just material. It could be status. People want to get around famous people because they think the fame is going to rub off on them. I can't hang out with this one, but the friend next to them that's always there, I got to get the hookup and get in the inner circle. What inner circle? Why are we always looking for something on the external? Like it's going to do something for us. We've been convinced that God's somewhere way up in the clouds. What kind of foolishness is that? We were given the Bible and the land under our feet were taken. The virus, always there to dupe you, fool you, come with a smiling face, come with a different angle. You know how many emails I got? I got several email accounts. It takes me a while to scroll through them, but I can identify the fraudulent ones where they're just looking for money. Get more YouTube hits. I don't need it. YouTube's taking it away. I don't care about that. This content is spread all over. I'm about ready to leave YouTube. I've just been here for a while and people know me here, but I'm beyond YouTube. Is YouTube going to stop me from creating artwork that I can sell online? Is YouTube going to stop me from working remotely for a company who wants me to draw an illustration for them for their website? I'll use this and get on up out of here. I just like communicating with the folks I get down with. My mind is so far away from this stuff because one day it won't matter. One day for me, YouTube is something that I'm not going to take with me when I make that divine flight. You use it to leverage your energy for a time to get you to the next level, because wherever you are, whatever level you're on, the level is not going to exist for you one day. It's not going to be there. So while you're on that level, you need to be looking about the next level to get to using what you have now to get where you need to go. I sometimes feel stagnant. I'm like, why am I still doing this? You get all these trolls and whisperers and people jockeying and all the viruses. I knocked a lot of that out when I left America. We got viruses here in the motherland. It's never going to stop. It's a little better for me, though. And it's wonderful. But you can elevate. But don't get caught up in this suit that you're in. Oh, I ain't never going to have nothing because, you know, all my family been poor and I never went to school. And you always, I'm not saying anybody here, but you always convincing yourself of what you can't do, right? If I want to do anything, what if I want to sit here with all the time I have and finish up a book before the end of December? I might bust out and do that. What if I want to have 5 or 6 of those and have some kind of online gallery and use my own illustrations, my own photos, my own input? There are people out here, I'm waiting for a date, that they're going to have me come out and do certain things. I'm over here now. So I didn't think about Texas or California, New York. I'm thinking about Kenya, South Africa, Gambia, Nigeria. Nigeria is set right now to be the biggest and most powerful in the world with oil. So don't you think the viruses are going to try to have a war going over there so they don't benefit? You got to know who your enemies are. You can't go around with the smiling faces and they escort you into doom and destruction. You got to protect yourself at all times, but not just in a physical way, in a spiritual way. And lots of times we are pumped up with one thing about us in this manifestation in this world. And that's like putting a $50,000 lock, an alarm system, security system on your front door. But in the back, you got a latch, that little hook that keeps the door from opening on a wooden door, and the latch ain't even screwed in all the way. If the wind blows too hard, it's going to rip the door open. We cover ourselves in one way, and we leave ourselves wide open in another. So how is it that we can improve ourselves? How can we elevate? How can we ascend? How can we prepare to go to that airport, that spiritual airport, and not have our luggage turned away because we packed the wrong things inside of there that won't matter on the trip that we're taking? Really and truly, it might be a little bag symbolically of lessons well learned that have ascended you, and they don't even weigh the bag. They just, go ahead. Because it's not near the limit. Everything in nature tells us about this. If our colons and our guts get too impacted with dead food, clogging our intestines and stopping us from absorbing new nutrition, and we're reabsorbing the stuff that we can't get out, it's deadly for us. If you see the same things you see, yes, you'll see them, but you're not supposed to be looking at it. You should see beyond. You should see bigger. The old ways that we had should be gone. We were so caught up in this race, religion, politics, all of this stuff. We should be slipping up out of this thing by now. We should be ready to take flight. And I always say it, and for this particular segment, I'm going to say it again. We don't know how long our life is going to be. It might be later on for me. It might be another 60 years. I might be the world's oldest social media dude, 120 years old. And this guy got more content. How'd you do it? Just did a little bit every day. When I started in 2001, a little bit every day in one of the categories. If you don't see something on this, I'm somewhere else. I breathe, I eat, I go to the bathroom, put a little bit into this. That's how investors do it on a financial level. They didn't have $1 million to invest in something. Some of these old dudes that are worth billions. Back in 1955, I started with $5 a day. And $5 was a lot of money back then. But then I went through hard times and I found a way to keep putting that $5 a day. And it ballooned up. And by the time 1980 came, you know what I mean? I had my first million. And by the time 1990 came, I had 15 million. And by the time that 2005 came, I had my first billion. Well, how did you get all, see, people see the whole thing immediately of what you are, but they don't understand behind closed doors how you toil day in and day out, day in and day out. Most people, I don't feel like doing that tonight. I gotta go hang out with the boys. But even when I hang out, I got my cameras. I ran the clip a couple times of a young lady who knew me online. We met, a whole bunch of them. Took selfies and whatnot. I said, okay, do a little intro for my channel. There's a lot of them. Hey, Lancescurv. There was a dude that drove past me months ago in a green Lamborghini. Keep up the good work. Oh, shoot. Wow. I'm not looking for that, but it's nice to know that what's going out there is going out there, even though your channel is shadow banned. You can't touch my site. You can't get to the bottom of them crates. And I evolve because you'll go to the bottom of the crates and hear me say some things that I might not say today. But I put it out there to show my growth. I have children. They need to see it. There's a couple of things I might have said that I'm like, oh God, I hope they don't see this until they're an adult. But the bottom line, I am who I am. And I'm not any category in this matrix, in this simulation that they want to put on you to keep you locked in. I'm seeing beyond myself. I'm seeing beyond this planet. I'm seeing beyond this world. Where are my parents? Where did they go? Their energy is out there somewhere. Where are my close friends that are no longer here? Well, I'm going somewhere else. Maybe I'm not going to the same place. I don't know. But I know one thing, I don't want to have any extra baggage where I can't enjoy the peace and privacy that I need to chip off and wash off all of this gook and all of this toxic stuff. Being around jealous people who smile in your face, being around people who want to see your downfall and they're just patiently waiting. It's going to happen one day. He had a long run successfully. Well, you might be waiting for a long time because I don't have much expectations. That's the reason why a lot of us are so frustrated. We expect too much. There's a bird flying around that I hear chirping. Do they expect much? They want a couple berries off of a tree. They may drop the regards down on you that you got to clean off your clothes later on, but they travel light. I never saw no bird with no designer suit on, standing around the other birds. Yeah. Hey, yo, don't have no suit like this. All they need is their wings to get around. That's their best defense. Birds don't have fangs, right? They have a beak, whatever. When they're walking around the ground, they're defenseless basically, huh? But they don't have what a tiger has. They don't have what a dog has. They don't need it. They see you coming, flip, I'm out. Don't get caught though. With your guard down, walking around as a bird. They'll get you, but they can fly away. We have different talents and abilities about ourselves that are undiscovered while we sit down very frustrated thinking that we're a victim in some system that's stopping us. No, nothing's stopping me. I'm going to do what it is that I need to do to fuel what's inside of me. And that's my divine right. And that's your divine right also. So don't let nobody tell you or insinuate or try to guide you into mediocrity, guide you into being nondescript, guide you into a category that's going to limit your thinking. I go wherever I want to go. I do business with whoever I want to do business with, and the world is wide open for me. And with technology, the technology that they use against us, you see, this ain't nothing wrong with the sword. You can take the sword and chop something in half or chop a fruit down. You can use it to defend yourself, and your enemy could use it to chop your head off. The sword is not the problem, it's the person behind it. The tool of social media is not the problem, it's the mindset behind it and how it's been used against us, and we perpetuate this stuff on our own people. Hey man, look at this girl on TikTok, man, look at her ass, man, oh my God. Why you want to keep sending me that? I know what ass look like. You know what I mean? I got kids. I've done a lot of things that didn't result in kids, but I know what it's like. You have a problem with that? But why is your mind caught up in that? What is your mind locked up in that's keeping you from seeing how big this existence is? That we can put the right things in our bag that even if it goes over the limit, if it's righteous stuff, they let you on through. Huh? So what are we collecting in our bag as far as our memories and the things that we learn that we may not be too proud of, but we can't forget it, but we learn from it, that we don't go down that road again. But this box that we're put in, we're going to throw a bomb over this one to that one because they're our enemy, right? Are they really your enemy? Or is there somebody playing all of us, putting us and pitting us against each other so we wasted time in this life and never learn the lessons? Why are we fighting against each other instead of realizing that we're classmates, that we can go higher together? We're so embedded and so encrusted with this thing that keeps us walking a narrow path where the road is wide. You can take a walk out in nature. You can do what you want to do. Escape this matrix, this simulation. Many of the people in it can act nice and technically are nice, but deep down, a lot of them are viruses and they're not nice. I'm not trying to find out the hard way. Let me do what I have to do in my day, enjoy it like I did yesterday. I had a really deep sleep. I woke up to the chickens and the birds and all kind of animals. I don't know what's going on out there in the middle of the night. Now I got to go to the bathroom and I'm like, I don't know what that is, and I'm not going out there. But they have a right to be out there too, right? As we all do. Anyway, I'm going to get ready to sign off. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to take a nap on this balcony, take me another download, and I'm going to come right on back. And I'm going to play this clip again. I like it. It's probably the last time. I got some more to play. But just know that I love you all. Thanks for coming and vibing and listening to this psychobabble that I do all the time. Maybe you got something from it. Maybe you didn't. But it's a wonderful thing. But we'll be back soon, shortly, after I get a little sun and a little nutrition. And have a good rising and a good, I don't want to say morning because people, the word play, oh, morning, you can't say that. These people are playing with words and they're not doing nothing in their own damn life. You just want to sound good, don't you? What the hell are you doing? Anyway, don't let me start because I'll do another hour. Much love to you all. Lancescurv out. Peace.
So, hello, this is Martha. Actually, today I got to meet my friend Lance. Yes, I got to meet my friend Lance. This is my first time meeting him in person, and he's a very kind man, seriously. I do talk with him on phone, on WhatsApp, but I've never got to meet him. But today, he's just extraordinary. He's very, anything you want to know about life, anything you want to know about just human, anything you want to know about life, please. YouTube, Telegram, Instagram, Twitter, all the social media channels, you got to find him there. He's very inspiring. He's very positive. If you want anything positive about life, please subscribe to Lancescurv. And then every day you got to see different videos, different talks, different topics about life. See you.